Like, if I don't show up, then who's showing up?
I don't think I ever knew this side of you.
So in the last 4 days, I've reversed 3 overdoses.
Do you pray?
There's literally nowhere for people to go.
I'm sitting talking to you and I can actually feel it.
Like, guys, there's real chicken in this soup. And they up and came running. At the time, I was just a security guard. So who am I to go against that?
Allison Deblaire, guys.
Yeah. It would be fun today to kind of like backtrack to our Fanshawe days and start there.
Yeah.
And then kind of lead to where we are today. As you said, we're both business people in the city. We both are working full time. We have families. And we came from a place of just being students in the city. Like, I didn't grow up here in London either. I come from a small town called Stratfordville. There's literally like 4 corners in it. So coming to London, it was big and new. I think at the same time that you were coming to London, and it was big and new for you, especially a whole new country. I think, let's start there. So what I took in college was police foundations and social service work, which kind of led me to where I am today. At the time when I was in college, I was playing basketball. So that took up the greater part of the day, being in school and basketball. But at the same time, I needed a part-time job. So that's what led me to working as security at the bars. It was the only real part-time job you could work from 11 at night till 3 in the morning. So I was a bouncer for 10 years. And when I was working downtown, it really like struck me there, the homeless crisis that we had in the city. So I think it was around 2015, I started working at Jim Bob Ray's. Do you know Jim Bob Ray's? Yeah. I started working there. I think I worked there for 4 or 5 years. And during that time, I had a break. I went and moved out west and lived in Saskatchewan and Alberta. I played basketball for a year in Alberta at Lloydminster Lakeland College and played basketball there. And I took more university social service credits. And then I came back home and started working at the bar again. And the same homeless people were in the same position doing the same thing. And that's when it really struck me. Like, I left for 2 years, like almost 700 days, and came back to the same sidewalk and saw the same people on the same sidewalk going through the same crisis. And over the next couple of months, I tried to like get to know them. I tried to like be a face, a familiar person. Like, I was standing on the sidewalk at the door of the bar every Thursday to Saturday. And these folks were just aimlessly walking. They just head down. Students were drunk, not paying attention to them. But this was like, as I learned over time, their survival, like the little bit of change or the little bit of food or whatever they could get from the students. Like, that was the last that they were seeing until the next morning when the city woke up again. Because when we shut the bars down, the whole city shut down until the morning. So over time, I brought like backpacks with clothing and shoes and stuff that I had from being a varsity athlete. I had so much free shirts and clothes, and I had so much shoes and stuff like that. So I started making care packages and bringing it and just having it in the trunk of my car. And when these folks would come by, I would just start to be like, "Hey, I'm Allison. I'm here. I see you all the time. Like, I've seen you for years out here," and try to learn their story. And then I got a full-time job where I still work today, 10 years later, being a security guard. And at this location, the only 24-hour door is there. However, it's a business. So to go into that business, you need money. And often I am faced with being the voice of exclusion. The person that's saying, you know, you don't belong here, but I don't know where you can go. Like, it's 3 a.m., it's the middle of a snowstorm, and I have to tell you to leave, but There's nothing open. Even our fast food now only has drive-through. Like the libraries are closed, the community centers are closed, the shelters are full. There's literally nowhere for people to go. So I tried to do better. Like I tried to become a better person when these folks would show up. And I started to print out like everything I knew, everything I could learn about shelters and services. And this was 10 years ago. We didn't have much. The crisis wasn't what it is today. So in your face on the street, we had more capacity in our services to deal with the crisis. And I wanted to do better. So I printed out every single newspaper clip that I could find about like addiction and mental health and housing and even like the health and homelessness in our community. And what I did was I cut out all of the quotes from the executive directors and the CEOs and people. And then I ended up putting all the quotes together. And when I put all these quotes together on the table, it made like this 7-page essay. And when you read it at the time, it helped me understand more what was happening like on our streets. And I never took that and brought it to people and said like, hey, do you not understand this? Like, do you not see what's going on? Like they're saying it. Instead, I turned around and I started to plan of like, what is missing? Friendship was missing.
Wait, so before you go on, that essay, where is it now?
I have it on my computer. It's in like the worst Word document. It's in like,
and no one has seen it.
Nobody. I think maybe I've shown 2 people, but I don't show people because I don't think it's I don't want it to be the failure of a system or the failure of people. And at the time, I was just a security guard. So who am I to go against the health minister or something like that? Like I was just a person trying to understand what was happening when it showed up at the door and try to send people better on their way. Try to find like when somebody showed up, like, can I call somebody to help them? And it was the police. The police were the only option and the police can't help them. The police have nowhere to take them. So yeah. So that is sitting in my computer. I went back and read it not long ago, and it's interesting because we have a whole new crisis on our hands. At the time, we were dealing with a lot of like HIV, intravenous using. That's when the conversations about safe consumption sites were coming up and clean kits and stuff like that, which is still a hard conversation to have today. But I think that's what saved us from the epidemic. I think that we've got a safe consumption site and we have organizations out there bringing kits that people aren't using. The same cookers. I don't know if you understand that. Do you understand when I say that?
Cookers?
No. Yeah. So
when it comes to this whole drugging, like I'll tell you, like in Trinidad, most of the people who like on drugs like this are like, the homeless people are like they you know, it's like we call them vagrants. I don't know what to call them.
Yeah.
But it's like they're crazy. So they don't really interact with us.
Yeah.
Whereas here, I feel like when you're walking on the street, they would stop you and talk to you, or they would try to talk.
Yeah.
Back home, they don't talk to you. They just leave you alone.
Yeah. And
so it's worse, I guess. But
the difference, I wonder, is they don't have harsh winters.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
I mean, the sun is still another conversation.
Yeah.
The rain season.
So it's like Jamaica. So that's what it is in Trinidad. It's like they don't interact with you, right?
Yes. But you have like fruit trees and you have like
fish. You could go swimming and get fish.
There's different capacities there, and you can have a fire literally anywhere.
Yeah.
Whereas here, like you can't have fires. You can't just kind of create like a shack in the middle of the trees and claim a little chunk of land.
True.
Whereas here, like we're so full of rules and regulations, and I think separation is like the biggest thing. I think that was my eye-opening thing, is coming from a small town is like, I thought that a homeless person was a person from the storybook, like with the pole and the thing tied at the end. Like that's what I thought was like, we call it a bum, like a homeless person. I'd never had to worry about like where a meal would come from or where I would sleep. Like I lived in my neighbor's house. Like their dinner was my dinner. Like if I needed something, I could go knock on anybody's door. I knew everybody in my whole entire town, that I would never be left astray, and nobody for that matter, because I've never seen a homeless person until I was 18 when I moved to London.
Right.
So that was very striking to me, and it took a lot of time to like understand what these folks were. And it was that like me removing myself and leaving London and coming back and being like, oh my gosh, like that person is still there on the sidewalk. Like something's got to give. Like somebody has to do better. And it's not at, like we can wait for our government all day long. We can wait for the government to recognize the crisis and send help. But I think that communities are strong because there's people that get innovative like you and I, that see a need and show up and find ways to like encourage your friends or encourage your family or like change the way that the community does work. And I think that's what happened. That's where 519 Pursuit really came from, is like, it started for me wanting to be a better person, like at my job, and then understanding outside of my job that there was a big, like gap. Yeah. There was barely any outreach. Our shelter beds were full. And it's like from 6 p.m. till like 6, 7 a.m. there's nothing. And these guys are just outside. Like that really struck me. So what I did was, I tried to like spend more time with people as they were coming and try to get to know them and understand their stories.
So you actually talk to them,
like sit down. Yeah. So there's a park, like where I work, there's a park. So I would sit there a lot in the middle of the night and like just try to hold space. I should say I work like straight midnight. So 7 at night till 7 in the morning. So.
But I mean, and this is me not talking from a place of judgment. This is me talking, but like why? Like what in you? Like what in you was like, you know, I need to like talk to, because most people would never. Yeah. Most people would never.
I think it's the humanness. I think it's like, I'm a security guard. So like that's what pays my bills. Yeah. Like being a security guard is a job that I found interest in, not because I had to have a voice and say no, but because I'm usually the first one showing up to crisis. Whether that's like a health crisis, whether that's someone in distress, whether that's someone intoxicated and just can't think for themselves. Like, I'm showing up as the first person to try to make the situation better. Whereas most people look at security guards and think like authoritative, like dickheads, let's put it that way. Like people show up like, I'm a security guard, like I can do anything. We're like,
especially in the city.
Yeah, my mindset's the opposite. Like even from being a bouncer, if any girls out there that has run into me at the bar, like I have carried girls from the bar into a cab. I have watched girls who are so intoxicated that their friends have left them, and they have like, I've seen it from every level because of this job. That I've been able to help like so many different people that will never even know it most times. Like this week alone at my job, so in the last 4 days, I've reversed 3 overdoses. And
do you have like naloxone?
Naloxone, yes. But I brought it because...
For yourself?
I carry it. Yeah, it's not something that we have at our work. I have it hidden in a vehicle because these scenarios, because I wanted to be better. And I've never in my 10 years working or doing 519 Pursuit have had to reverse an overdose. And in the last 3 days, 3. And if I didn't have like the naloxone with me, we would have had to wait for EMS to show up. And by the time I responded to these folks, we don't even know how long they were there because they're just on a sidewalk in the dark. So it's like these little things that.
And then like a couple of weeks ago, there was some guy driving around giving them.
Yeah.
Like it's crazy.
We still don't know what came of that specifically, but it was said that somebody was out giving free samples, and within like an hour and a half, there was over 30 overdoses. And like that, imagine our community without outreach and without frontline services and our emergency services. So our police, fire, ambulance, they're showing up to 30 different people in an hour and a half outside of everything else that happens in this big urban city with fires and car accidents and medical emergencies and so on. We have this on like 3 blocks where there's people dropping to the ground. Like it's extremely important that we have these services out there on the sidewalk, people walking around, because let me put myself out of the shoes that I've been wearing for the last 10 years. If I was just a person walking, let's say down Dundas Street, and I see somebody on the ground, I'm just going to assume they're sleeping.
Yeah.
I'm just going to walk by. It's not until somebody understands what an overdose looks like or somebody in crisis that they're going to stop and like care about the person. Whereas every other moment of the day, it's just people just walk by. They're part of the sidewalk.
It's crazy because I don't think I ever knew this side of you. I don't think, and this is the issue actually, because a lot of the times in college, you are around people and like you guys just have fun, but you don't know somebody, how that person thinks, you know, or that kind of thing. So I remember when it just started and you were asking for like socks.
Yeah, the socks.
And stuff, right? And then you did soup or something.
Yeah.
You did like a soup, you know?
Yeah. So what made me like, let's say, pull the trigger? Like I was like 3 years trying to figure out like how I could do better. But what made me be like, okay, like we're doing this, like I'm making it something and I'm committing literally the next 10 years of my life to making sure it's successful, is that crock pot of chicken noodle soup. So like that's the origin story. It was like a cold night, November 2017. I took a crock pot of soup. So I was preparing this chicken noodle soup that I was going to eat the next 6 days at work. And then it was like snowing. It was cold outside. And I was like, you know what? How dare I be a glutton and hold this soup for the next 6 days when I could come home and make a meal? And I took it in my car and I went for a drive, and behind this one shelter, there's a staircase and like a lean-to, so like a roof.
Right there.
And when I got around the corner back there, like there had to have been like 15 people sitting on the stairs because the beds were full. But that's where they were going to stay that night, to stay out of the elements. And when I gave like the first gentleman soup, he like had some, and like he literally said like, guys, there's real chicken in this soup. And they up and came running. It was like they hadn't had real food. Like it's chicken noodle soup. Like it's not like a nice barbecue chicken. Yeah. It's like little chunks of chicken in a broth. That changed their life. And like in that moment I was like, wow, I think that changed my life too. So I went home and I was like, all right, we're doing this. And this was a time when social media was just like starting. I think Instagram was more for like food. Like you take a picture of your food and show it. And there wasn't DMs. There wasn't like stories and all of these things. It was like just like terrible different. Picture with a hashtag. And I was like, oh, I'm going to use this. I was watching and I barely saw business on it, like nothing. And I said, I'm going to use this and I'm going to figure out a way to build this thing. Yeah. So I then kind of like switched my momentum to figuring out like how to help to like, I'm going to be the help. So I started by using my own stuff, getting friends involved. And at the time, my roommate, we used our basement and created like a donation center in it. So our whole basement became like donations would be dropped off at our door. We would sort them on shelves and stuff like that. And we would make care packages. So every time I went to work on the weekend at the bars, like my trunk would be full and I could just like click the button from the door. It would open, people would go and then shut it and go on their way. And then on the days when I wasn't working, like friends would gather and we would go out and drive around in the car and find these same people and like build relationships and build friendships and get them, but also support them so that I knew like after the bar closed and whatever, at least I had something, a little bit to get by until we see them again. And then what happened is that we became so consistent that we were running out of donations. Like all of our friends and family had given what they could give. And we had to find a way to like tell the community about us because we spent so much time telling the homeless, like, hey, we're trying to do this. Like they helped build this. This was something that they want. It's not more so like an organization. It's like a community built around them. It's like that missing piece that they needed to help them walk through this.
I think it's because it started from the right place. I think like all those years. Do you pray?
Yeah.
Are you Christian?
I'm not baptized Christian, but I highly believe in God. Yeah. God and Jesus would be my savior.
Yeah, I could see. I'm sitting talking to you and I could actually feel it. I'm like, I truly see like what like God planned for you and what He's doing for you. Yeah. And how He made you, like everything that He made you go through. Yeah. To reach to this point and the strength that He gave you to go through it. It couldn't be nobody else. Yeah.
I was just having this conversation with my coworker.
Yeah, it couldn't be nobody else. And I'm talking to you and I'm like, yo, this person, I was like, she must pray. Like there's no way. Yeah. I mean, like there are really good people who are not taking that away from nobody, but like how you speak about people, and because you speak about people that you love. Yeah. Like no one speaks genuinely. No one speaks of like honestly, bro, and I'm guilty of it too, and I pray, and sometimes you still call them crackheads and that kind of stuff, bro. You know, and like I still talk to them, they come to the shop all the time. Yeah. And I still
especially where you are.
Yeah, I still like talk to them and that kind of stuff, but I would not like I never thought of it the way you think of it. Yeah. You know, like you said earlier that you saw being a security as the best way to get close to them, and that is crazy to hear anybody say.
Yeah, that's why I won't give up my security job. I think because like people always ask, like, how do you do so much? Why do you do so much? And I'm like, it's so passion driven. Like I get tired as like a human, but like I'm built to show up. Like if I don't show up, then who's showing up? Like that's really how I feel. Is like there's a running joke. I always say, "Oh, I'm gonna slow down. Like I'm gonna slow down and take a break." But as soon as that opportunity comes, I'm like, "No, let's do it. Let's like, what's next?" And I think that comes from being like a varsity athlete in college and then working at night in the bar. Is that my mind, body, and soul is trained to operate for 18 hours a day and rest when you get the rest, and then keep going.
Yeah, and don't stop, because once you stop, it's gonna get hard.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I was brushing my teeth today, thinking, oh my gosh, 30 more years till 60, 65. I'm like, I'm excited for the next 30 years. Like I don't know why it came.
But you would never retire.
I don't think so.
Like people like you don't. Like my mom is. You people like you never retire.
Yeah, there's always something more.
I mean, you technically retired already. I mean, when you could stop. I feel like once you're doing something that you like, I don't think we even think of retirement, you know? Like it's like...
Yeah, no, that was the first time it kind of like caught me, but it wasn't like, oh, I'll be done. It was more so like, oh my gosh, what's the next 30 years going to entail? That's so exciting. That, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's... And I will talk to you some more outside too, because I feel like as we were speaking there, I felt like last year I was having a conversation with some of my friends that we wanted to do a drive that was going to be like food and prayer. You know, like where we give away food, and if they're willing to let us pray for them, we could pray. Yeah. You know, like we're not going to force them. It's not like, oh, you have to get prayed for if you want food, but if you willing, we could be willing to stay and pray. And I'll talk to you about that actually. Yeah. Because it'd be good if I could do that with like Trini food because that's all I know. Like some curry chicken or something.
They would love that. They would love that.
Yeah. So we should actually
they deserve that.
Yeah, get some people from the churches to come over and just like pray for the community, because I know that it's I never experienced homelessness like Canada. Not that I experienced it personally, but I never
saw it and witnessed
like a regular, like how that could be. And drug use. I never saw cocaine until I came to Canada. I never saw drugs so freely used until I came to Canada. And you could ask your husband.
It's socially accepted.
It's like socially accepted here. I never seen like that. Weed was one thing, but like all these other drugs was different. So it was a huge culture shock for me.
And we break down addiction in different ways. Like there are so many different addictions, but we point the finger at like one or two. Somebody was asking me the other day in the parking lot at my work. They like pulled up out of nowhere and they were like, what? I was like helping a homeless person, getting them off the property, and this vehicle came and kind of intercepted, was asking like, what are you doing? What is she doing? And I said, oh, like I'll see her 3 more times this shift. She comes, this is where she makes her money, and she walks away. She said, why do you think that people don't want to help them? Why do you think that people see them but don't want to help them? And I was saying, like, we have created such a conception around these folks that we don't see them as human anymore. We see them as like freeloaders almost, like, oh, the government gives them money and they get free meals and they get free clothes and they get all this free stuff and they just get to sit around all day and they don't go and get a job and they don't try to do better. And they're like, what do you think would make people help do it? And I was trying to express, like, in the most gentle way, is that we lost like our psych hospitals, like the places that were for treatment for these folks, like that would give them wraparound care and help them get better and do better for themselves. Like we lost a lot of those places, especially here in London, and those treatment centers. If you don't have money, like you're looking at like a long wait list to even consider a bed. And what I was expressing is like, if our, like, this is in the most gentle way because cancer has been a really big thing in my life too. But if our support for folks going through cancer treatment were to shut down, they were to say, you know, we don't have any more money for this, we're gonna put folks outside, I can almost guarantee that every Londoner and everybody in the surrounding area would not go to work the next day. We would all stand outside on Wellington Road in front of that hospital and we would say, this treatment center must go on. Like, people can't survive without this. Do you know what you're gonna do taking this away? And it just like came to mind in that moment. I don't even know why I thought of that. But on this side of it, it's like we took a whole treatment center away from these folks and left them on the sidewalk. We took that away and took beds away and took treatment away. And then this horrible cycle of addiction and like mental health and homelessness. Like, you're not homeless because you have an addiction and mental, like it all comes together as like pieces. That every single person that I've met facing homelessness, they didn't have mental health and addiction as part of who they were when they became homeless. And then there are some scenarios where people did. That's why they couldn't stay housed. Like, there's so many different reasons why folks are there that we can't just open a church basement and say, hey, like, let's bring you out. Let's get you all inside and we're going to help this crisis. It's like, well, every 50 individuals that you bring into that church basement, like that's 50 different ways that they're going to get out of it. Like, we need 50 different scenarios and support teams to help these folks when they leave. So it's such a crisis with like deep magnitude of like how we're going to help folks. But what 519 Pursuit is and where we play our role is like, We're a friendship-based approach. We show up as people helping people. We show up every single day and stick to the basics, like food security, survival gear, clothing, hygiene care packages, snack packages. It's like meeting people where they are in that moment and saying, hey, like, I see you. I understand what you're going through, and I want to learn more about what you're going through so that I can show up tomorrow and try to help you get somewhere further. So that every day, you know, we're going to take care of the basic necessities. We're going to get you clean clothes. We're going to get you food. We're going to get you a toothbrush and toothpaste. If you need to brush your teeth, some deodorant, so that you can go out and operate in society and not be looked down upon because you are one of us. You just don't have these things there. And then from that, we're going to help you navigate the system. Because can you imagine, like, there's not one door you walk through to get support, from getting your ID to getting like medication to seeing somebody help you. Like when you have frostbite, like the health and homelessness is such a important piece. And I think that our friends facing homelessness often don't even get that support that they need because there's so much pushback. Being like housing ready and getting your paperwork done, like these are all different doors. Getting a meal, your meal at breakfast is probably not going to be the same door for your meal at dinner, if you can even get to it. There could be a church in Hyde Park and a church in the morning and then a church in White Oaks at night for your meal. Like if you don't even have $3.25 or whatever it is for a bus ticket now to get all the way there,
it's hard.
Plus survive. Like it's really hard.
Definitely. And like even like the whole like the opioid crisis and that kind of stuff, right? And then you discover that a lot of people become addicted from getting into an accident and being prescribed certain drugs. Yeah. Now they're addicted, and a lot of people, because even when I talk to my wife, I always describe them as, we have to see these people as, a lot of them, not all of course, but a lot of them as sick, as they have an issue. Yeah. That's a bigger issue that we blame them for.
Yeah, it's not them.
Yeah, but when you're homeless with nothing and you feel like you're nothing, it's so easy to want to escape. And we do it all the time. We work hard. Yeah. And then on a weekend we say, let's have a drink to escape the fact that our hard work, we don't see the fruits from it. So we want to escape a little bit. The only difference is that we have structure and something to fall back on, whereas they don't.
Yes.
You know, all they have is nothing. So they feel like the more they could leave where the mine is the best thing for them. And it's sad.
Yeah. There is 100 different, like thousands of different stories. Like we're talking about cancer. Like we had friends facing homelessness that would go and do chemo and come back to their encampment. Like we have people right now that have severe frostbite that because they don't have somewhere to be, they can't get the surgery to like remove their toes because they're going to go back to an encampment. We are so busy as like average citizens with jobs and families and things, like you're saying, like structure, that it's so easy for us to be tired and just drive by and be like, oh, look at them in the same place as yesterday. But like, we have no idea what they did the 24 hours that we seen them yesterday to today. Like, we have no idea what they're going through. Like, I would never, ever wish that upon somebody. And that, I think, like, when we talk about like God and showing up, I don't know, our logo is like a lantern. It's like light. It's like putting light back into the city. It's like a little bit of hope is the first step, because right now they're hopeless. Like, they have people dying. They have addiction. They have like the whole community looking the opposite way. Social exclusion is a huge piece. Like, imagine, let's say, being on the sidewalk and thinking, okay, tomorrow's going to be the day that I'm going to get up and I'm going to, work on my recovery and work to getting back housed. But you become such a part of that sidewalk. Like, you don't know where you fit in. Yeah. If your family hates you, your kids hate you, if you get housing, like, where do you fit in? We as Londoners have created such a barrier to them getting better and coming back into our community. It's like they're banned from the Dollarama, they're banned from the grocery store, they're banned from Tim Hortons, they're banned from the downtown library in some cases, and City Plaza, and using washrooms. It's like, so where do they belong? It's really hard to survive alongside folks. And like, let's say you and I and 3 other people were out there in an encampment, and like you're leaving every day and you're trying to get better and you're trying to get housing. And then when you get housing, the 4 of us are still in that encampment. Like there is guilt. There's guilt of you being inside. Guilt. Yeah, there's guilt. There's like, you want to go back to what you know because you've been so pushed out of like the general community and society that's what feels like home. 4 walls and a door doesn't feel like home anymore. Like it's just,
it's a bigger issue.
There's so much to it. And I think that's what we're trying to create at 519 Pursuit is like, in the last 4 years, we've been really responding to crisis, like showing up in like encampment street level. But what's happening behind the scenes is that we're actually creating a mentorship system that is like meeting people where they are in encampment. And then once they get housed, we're encouraging them to come back and volunteer with us. So just because they're housed doesn't mean that we're just like, okay, great, you're housed. Like we're still following up with them. We're still making sure that they're okay, that they're supported, that they're not isolated in their home. We're getting them to come now help with outreach in those encampments that they used to live in so that they can feel that they're supporting and showing up for those while still like moving forward in their life. And then our goal is to eventually hire them as an employee or a part-time employee so that while they're surviving on OW or ODSP, they're getting that extra money in their pocket to have the independence to go grocery shopping, to go have a social life, to go become part of the community again.
So you guys basically hire the people? So
some of our employees, so Michelle is like the all-star employee.
Is that the one from who was, what's his name? Who came? The guy that came and gave her like a car or something.
Yeah, Jelly Roll.
Yeah, right.
Yeah,
right.
So Michelle.
Okay, that's it.
Yeah,
right,
so Michelle. So I met Michelle on the streets. Like
so she was living on the streets.
She was living on the streets, deep in her addiction. She tried recovery. I think she went into the detox floor. So we have a detox floor in the Salvation Army. So you can go there and get sober. But it's only for a couple of weeks. So she tried that, I think, like 27 times. Like she kept trying. But then on the other side of it, we didn't have support. And then almost 4 years ago, the Salvation Army got this funding and they created like a recovery center in it. So then once people were done detox, they could finally stay there and recover. They could be there. They could have a place to call home and keep that recovery services. And so just last week, Michelle celebrated 4 years sober.
Wow.
She's working full time with us. She has her driver's license. She has a car because of Jelly Roll.
That's crazy.
Yeah, she leads. So 5 years ago, she went from being on the sidewalk at Dundas and Wellington to people literally stepping over her to get on the bus to now she's fully.
But do you see how one thing about God is that he always shows you your fruit.
Yeah.
Just to show you that you're on the right path. He always does, you know?
Yeah. That's the biggest thing, is not worrying. I think that I've learned so much is like, you got to just breathe and like, it's going to be okay. As long as you show up every single day and like give it the best you can, like by the next day, it's going to be okay. I had a lot of anxiety, like as a teen. I think a lot of depression and anxiety from my godmother passed away from cancer. When I was in grade 7, and then there was just like this big disconnect of like understanding life, understanding death, understanding God. And I think in my late teens, that's when God like found me.
Yeah.
I think worked really hard to find me. And then on the other side of that, in my 20s, I would start to run into people who knew me when I was younger, and they would tell me how they knew that God was coming, like, to find me.
Yeah.
Like, just strangers, like, complete, like, crazy scenarios. And then, like, looking at it today, I just had this conversation with my coworker 2 days ago. There's a lot going on in life. And she was like, like, in these times, I don't know how to keep believing in God. Like, we're going through such, like, hard things that how can that be God? And then my response was kind of like, God put us in these places to show up because we are strong enough to do it. Because on the other side of us showing up, we're not going to fall into addiction. We're not going to fall into, stress and depression and so on. Like, we're going to show up as God. Yeah. That's what God wants us to do. Exactly. And we won't understand it now, but on the other side of it, like, we'll look back. This is a chapter. This is just a phase. And then you'll see it. Yeah. We'll look back and we'll be like, okay. And then when you arrive at it again, the next time, you're more prepared. Like, you're going to arrive at it and go through it a lot faster because you've learned the lesson from it. But if you don't learn the lesson from it, you're going to keep arriving at it and going through it. In circles. Yeah.
Like, even yesterday in church, actually, that was kind of the message. It was that Jesus told the disciples to love each other as I love you.
Yes.
You know? And it's basically look out for each other, you know? Die for each other, like, be there for each other, you know? Most of the times we go to God is when we're going through our hard times.
Yeah, that's what I was saying too. Yes.
And he knows it, right? Yes. It's like when once your life is Gucci, you're like, oh yeah, let's go here. You don't have time. I'm too busy.
Yes.
You know? But in your quiet time is when you could really, and that's why I think, like, meeting these people and, like, praying for them is actually one of the best things that you could do. Mm-hmm. Not for the system, but more for them to understand who God really is.
And I think at the same time, I think we should just be praying for them, not just in front of them and around them and when we're serving meals, but always praying for them, because I think that it's a hopeless space out there. It's really hard because, like I'm saying, it's people in crisis with people in crisis. Yeah. Like, that's all they get most days is hard times and hard people. But the more that we can pray and bring hope, or the more, like, eye contact, just being on the sidewalk and giving eye contact is life changing. Like, it's simple, it's free. You don't even have to have a conversation, but just, like, genuine eye contact, like, you're a human and I see you, rather than looking away or pulling out your phone. Or, you know, I've sat on the sidewalk for hours. I've seen it. I've been put in the place of social exclusion. Like, it's real. It's nobody wants to face it because you're carrying that grief. You're wondering, you know, you walk away from the person sitting on the sidewalk at the bus stop, and that whole bus ride, you're wondering, who are they? Why are they there? What are they going through? Why are they doing drugs? Why don't they do all these things? And you're going to carry that. It's the same thing. It's how people, when they always ask, oh, you know, I saw this person the other day and I gave them $5 and I hope they don't go buy drugs with it. It's like, okay, well, you gave them $5. Like, do you really understand, like, what you're talking about? Like, you gave them $5 because you thought that was going to make you better and feel better. But then you walked away and thought all the negative things that you think that they're going to do with it. Not all the positive things. Not, I just bought them. Just keep it. Yeah, you might as well. You're not helping them, and you're doing it to help you because you feel better because you gave them $5, but you've still looked down upon them like, oh, that $5 is going to go buy them so much drugs and they're going to do all this bad stuff with it, rather than being like, oh, that $5 just bought them food, a coffee, and a seat in Tim Hortons because they're a paying customer, and a bathroom that they can actually sit on a toilet and use toilet paper and have some privacy for 10 minutes and wash their hands and wash their face. Like, heaven forbid you gave somebody $5. And I hear that over and over and over again.
You're right. You are 150% right. And your outtake on it is so, like, me, honestly, when I give them money, I don't even think, like, on the spectrum. I don't think on the bad spectrum or the good spectrum. I just think, I guess, give you money.
Yeah.
You know? But how you explain it from the good spectrum, I never thought of it like that. Like, they could pay to go into Tim Hortons and use a bathroom. I never thought of that. But I also, though, I used to be like, oh, this person go and do drugs. Because that's what they teach you. It's like, don't give them money, they go and do drugs.
Yes.
You know? But in my older age now, I don't even think about it. I just be like, you know what? If I was in need, I would like if somebody could help.
For sure.
You know? And if I, who have a business and working full time and doing all these different things, if me, Vaughn, have some times where you're like, where am I going to get money from?
Yeah.
You know? Imagine them. And the one of the worst parts, I don't know if it's worst part, but is that these moments of my life is when I feel like God called me to give more.
Yes.
When I don't know where it's coming from. Yes. And I'm like, all I have is $50. It's like, oh, so you want to lose the $50 or you want to keep the $50? Mm-hmm. You know, and then and that's something I teach my kids now. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm like, oh, you wanna share this?
Yes.
Or you don't. If you don't, I understand. But they know now. It's like, if I say no, Daddy's gonna buy him something better. Yes. Right? So you know, just let me give him.
Exactly.
It's like, it's always gonna come back.
Yes.
So, you know, so it's so I never heard someone speak like this in my life. Like I've been around good people my whole life, but I never heard them like about this subject matter. I never heard someone speak about it like this. My mom speaks the same way about the elderly. Yeah. Especially like elderly people who we forget about too. But
they're so vulnerable too.
Yeah.
It's the same. It's social. Like, we have social media, which is tearing us apart too as a generation, but it's connected. Like, for once I don't have my phone on me, but like, we're always connected one way or another, whether somebody's talking to us or not. We can like put our phone on and read something or see something or like a quick reel that makes us feel connected to something in society, on earth, in the world. But like, imagine sitting on a sidewalk for 30 minutes and 75 people have like come up to you and looked the other way or looked down or got their phone out and just like caused a distraction so they didn't have to look at you in your hardest time. Like, that does something to you. That starts to separate you, like, mentally. Like, you start to think like, do I belong? What did I do?
To give you $5.
Yeah.
Or the record itself giving you $5, you know?
Yeah. Like, what did I do to the general society? Like, what did I do to belong here? Yeah. Like, I have learned so much in life by slowing down and sitting down beside somebody in like the worst of their times. I think something that that keeps myself going right now is that this line is that I'm trying to use my voice to be a voice in rooms where decisions are being made about people's lives who have no voice in those rooms. So like, recently I've had to speak at city council and try to like get a contract extension and try to encourage the community why outreach is important and an important part of this system. And it's usually the first point of connection. It's usually those folks that are not forgotten about, but like outside. They're not walking in doors of services to get support, or they're not consistently in a door where there is support. There are those breaks in their lives where they are just part of the general public and being ignored, or they're surviving in an encampment along the river or what have you. And I think the more that I can talk to them and learn about what they're going through or walk alongside them, the more that my voice becomes something that people should hear. Otherwise, I don't think that I really have a right to be talking. But because I've spent the last 10 years of my life listening, not learning from a textbook, but like listening to what the 200 people in our community living in the encampment and along the riverside or on the sidewalk are saying they need to do better, then I feel I have a voice to turn around and use that voice in rooms that they're not in to say, hey, did you go ask the 50 people that were talking about what they need to do better? Did you consider that? Or are we just going to continue to decide the pathway that they need out of here? I think that's a big change in the system. The other thing, I keep saying friends, like the friendship-based approach is something that was missing. Like people just genuinely like caring about these people and showing up as friends, helping friends, or just showing up and having a conversation, or like reminding them that they're human, they're a part of our community, they're part of London, Ontario, they are Londoners, is that it changed the whole conversation. So like me sitting here today telling you about my friend who lives by the river, like you're already going to feel like, okay, like that's a good person because they're my friend. Yeah. Because I've slowed down and become friends with them. You're not going to think, oh, the crackhead on Dundas Street that is not part of our society and not helping. Because I'm saying, well, my friend that's living through homelessness needs a pair of sneakers. You're going to be like, oh my gosh, let me go get you one. You're not going to judge them because they're my friend. Like I've already gone through that and broke that barrier. We're not talking about clients or people with addiction and mental health. We're talking about my friends. Like I have friends who are housed, who are normal people who have addiction. I have friends who are in a scenario where they're unhoused who have addiction and mental health. I'm still going to try to show up the same way for both those people and help them because I think that I have the capacity. And if I don't have the capacity, I think I have the capacity to find somebody who does. And I think that's the really big part about who we are as humans. And I think now that I have kids, leadership is like a common theme. Like every single day I'm talking about leadership with my 6-year-old because I see my 2-year-old follow. Yeah. Like carbon copy, whatever my 6-year-old's doing, my 2-year-old's sitting there doing it. And I'm thinking, oh my gosh, like we have a chance right now at age 6 to create a leader out of you so that when you're at school around 30 other 6-year-olds, there could be 30 other kids doing what you're doing. Let's make sure it's something positive. So I think that through all of this, I think that's like the common theme is like just being a better leader. And what does that look like for you? And who's the audience? Is it your kids? Is it your family? Is it your church? Is it the community? Is it literally you walking outside your house and walking around the block? Like your mom's talking about, there could be isolated old people that are looking out the window or don't even look out the window anymore because kids aren't playing or kids aren't waving or saying hello. Like there's so many different scenarios in our world that if we just show up a little bit better every single day and try a little bit better, I think that it's going to become a better place. But the more that we retract and look at our phones and look at social media and really just communicate behind a screen, I think we're going to continue to lose that. I think we have an opportunity here with our kids to
change the narrative.
Yeah, to re-engage a generation of leaders and people who are community-based, not so much separate.
It's like in the Bible they always refer to kids, you know. It always like God always calls for us to be as kids as well, you know. And it also says train the kids in the way they should grow, so that in their old age they should not depart from it, you know. Yeah. And I had a video about this a couple of videos back, and I was saying that like God understands who we are and adolescence. Mm-hmm. And he knows that adolescence is a hard time. Yeah. But after that's done, we always go back to what we knew from before. Yeah. So that's why it's good to put things into your kids your kids where they could understand, and like you change the narrative with kids and not with adults. They would never see it the same. Yeah. But if you could go to the kids, then you could change the way society could think about different subject matters.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's funny because my 6-year-old son, he's always wanted to be like an engineer, and like trains are his big thing. And not long ago we were driving, and like I don't talk, like, it's not that I don't talk about it a lot, but I don't like put it in his face like, hey, here's homeless people and we have to help them. It's like, it's very natural how we do it. Like, he helps deliver socks and he knows that there's care packages, and if there is somebody in the community, we help them, and he knows what 519 Pursuit is and helps. But we were driving the other day and there was like new buildings going up, and he looked at me and he said, Mommy, I think when I grow up, I also want to be an engineer to create houses for homeless. And it's like, I don't know where he got that from. He thought that in his mind. I didn't push that on him, but he understood that through the way that he understands how we live life. Yeah. Like, the homeless are one of they're just missing a home. So the best solution is to make a home. Yeah. Like, that's how I seen it through his 6-year-old eyes. It was like, okay, like, they just need a home. Yeah.
And then he also listens to you and your husband's discussions.
Yeah. In my Zoom calls.
Yeah. That's good. That's why. Yeah. That's why for me with my marriage, I like kids watch everything. They see everything. Everything. Parents are way more important than they think. It's not just about making money and paying for rent. It's about actually being present and being there. Yeah. So, that being said, what do you think is next? Because we don't have much more time. But
that's okay.
Like, what do you think is next for you and for 519
I think
Pursuit?
For 519 Pursuit, I think what we're trying to do is we're trying to stabilize. So we became a registered charity in May of 2024, but just last May, so 2025 to today, we started operating like as our own unit. More or less, we were operating under the umbrella of the London Food Bank. We have a really incredible partnership with the London Food Bank RBC Place in YOU. We do 120 meals Monday to Friday and take those out into the encampments through our outreach team. But I think it's building capacity and stabilizing our services so that we can grow further. I think more mentorship is needed amongst social services outside of those services that are trying to support them with the crisis. I think that we need more people helping people and people walking alongside these folks so that they understand how to navigate what is out there so that they can get to the other side of it. And then the continuation is, like you said, we have like healthy routines. We have things that we have to do every day. We have jobs. We have to show up. We have kids. We have to show up. Like, for them, they're surviving. They are surviving every single minute. And then on the other side of that, survival, like, how do you just slow down and breathe? You've been surviving for the last 5 years. Like, what does life look like again? And I think it's reintroducing life to those folks and engaging them in our society. So what we do through this mentorship program that we're like kind of working on, it's like a pilot project, is we take people to the movies, we take people out for dinner, we take people, some people have gone to like Hemans, to like the flower shop for the day. That's cool. To the London Lightning basketball games, like trying to re-immerse them into society so that they know they belong and that they know those spaces are there for them on the other side of housing. Like, let's get you up out of that encampment and into a house and part of society again. But it's not easy to do those things alone. And it's not like we have one system or service to do that. I think it takes a community, it takes a village, like they say. And I think that's where I'm hopeful to lead 519 Pursuit on the other side of this crisis. I hope that there's more affordable housing and rent geared to income housing coming in the next 2 to 3 years, that we'll see less encampments. That's my dream. And in that case, then we're prepared to pivot from an outreach team and encampment to supporting folks that have come from living in an encampment and reintegrating them back into our society.
That's cool. That's really, really cool. Yeah. So, and where could people like find you guys to like reach out to you guys?
Yeah, so we are active on social media on Instagram and Facebook. We kind of use those platforms to storytell, share about our friends facing homelessness, and then the things that we need each week. That's at 519 Pursuit. And then we have our website, www.519pursuit.ca. If you want to donate, if you want to just start a conversation or volunteer, you can reach out through the contact us on that form. And then Saturday mornings at 203 Bathurst Street, that's City Center Storage downtown, just behind the train station. We operate donation day from 10:30 in the morning till 11 in the morning. So it's kind of like a drive-through style. You just pull your car up, give your donations to our volunteers, and then we take them down into our storage lockers, sort them, and then prepare care packages and stuff that people need for the week forward. And it's almost immediately that your items will be making impact in the community. Like if you were to donate a sweater and pants, like it's almost immediately in the next 2 weeks that somebody will be wearing that. That's how quickly that we're getting stuff out there, and that's how highly the need is for people to donate.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I just had a bunch of t-shirts that I was telling my wife I need to go throw away.
Yeah, don't throw them away.
No,
bring them.
I won't. I will.
Yeah.
But that's good. That's good. I am proud to see the person who you have become.
Thank you.
I am happy to see people in society that's still for the voiceless.
Yeah.
I try to do mine, but mine is I can do my own thing here, but it's very amazing to see.
Yeah, thank you.
That you do it with the heart and the intent of not trying to one up somebody, but more like we need to make a difference.
Yeah.
And we need to make a change.
Yeah, I think it's little things. My best friend used to say this. Take care of the little things and the big things take care of themselves. And I like that is grinded in my head. It's like, if I can take care of 3 little things for you today, what big thing can you take care of?
Mm-hmm.
Or how will that big thing just take care of itself? And I think that's what we can look at. Like let's put yourself in the winter, next winter, let's say. If you could put an extra 5 pairs of mittens and socks in your car, in your console, it barely takes up room. Mm-hmm. But when you see that person, even the friend that you used to see who got their hair cut, you can give them eye contact. You can say, hey, I thought about your situation. Here's a pair of gloves. Hopefully your day gets better. And I guarantee you that person's day is going to get better. Just because you gave them eye contact, but also because you've given them the opportunity to like dry feet or warm hands. That is like one of the hardest pieces of surviving in the winter is like frostbite, freezing cold toes, wet feet, standing on your feet all day, not having, you and I get to come home, like you got slippers on in your house. Most of these people don't even have slippers on outside, let alone clean socks. But like we're having a lot of rain right now. That rain, it's going through their shoes and their socks. They're not going home and taking that off. They're like wearing that for 24, 48, 68 hours to a point where
it's rotten.
It's creating big problems under that shoe that we're not even seeing. So it's like those little things that we could do. A box of granola bars in the summer. You leave your house, if you can take a cooler with cold water bottles and you see somebody panhandling, like if you can give them a cold water bottle, you're giving them opportunity. Like panhandling is like, that's their job. That's their survival tactic. Like some of those folks, that's them getting a meal or that's them getting a hotel for the night so that they can be safe, sleep in a bed and have a shower that they haven't had in a month. Like there is so much that we don't understand and we just look at it as like free money, but they've stood in the 30-degree hot sun on the concrete in their shoes for 4 hours to make $10. Like some of us could never survive that. And that's life or death. That is getting to the next day for them. I think those are the little things that we can take away is like, how can we do better? Well, there's little ways that we could do better. And maybe it starts with saying hello. You see the same person panhandling on the same corner when you go to work at 8 a.m. every single day. Rather than putting the window up and looking the other way, waiting for the red light to change, why don't you put the window down? Say, hey, how are you? What's going on? I see you here every day. Do you see me here every day? They probably recognize you. You just don't know it because you never asked. They probably see you ignoring them every day. So it's just little things that we can start to do. Like if 100 of us from this podcast walked away and started doing little things, it would probably create a better environment for many.
Wow.
Yeah.
Allison. How you pronounce your last name?
Deblaire.
Deblaire. Okay,
Yeah.
okay, so
Yeah.
thinking too. Yeah. Allison Deblaire, guys.
Yeah. It's been
Allison
awesome to
Deblaire.
chat with you.
Yeah.
It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
And